Oku. Oji Wachuko is here, as always, on another, okay, I was going to say Wednesday, but Wednesday has passed on Thursday. So you're safe, you're safe. Happy good Thursday to you. Good Thursday.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm great, how are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm great. Thank you.
So Nka Lounge is only a few days away. I was hoping you could enlighten our viewers, tell us about that.
Nka Lounge, you all know that every the last Friday of every month, right, we have the celebration right here, to unwind. After all the month hustle and bustle, we unwind and give you an experience, right? And Nka Lounge this month is going to be something you don't want to miss. We're going to be featuring Jades. Jades, she has been doing a whole lot. Yeah, she's from Enugu State, by the way, and she has grown to being that big star. Won a couple of awards and also some talent hunts, by the way. So she's going to be featured this month, Nka Lounge. So do well to be part of it. Last Friday, I think that was the 29th of August.
Yes.
Yeah, so next week, Friday, Jade is going to trail us here with her amazing and golden voice.
Right.
8 p.m. By the way, 8 p.m.
And this is saying a big thank you once again to the sponsor of Nka Lounge, Amstel Malta, for supporting Afia TV's Nka Lounge. Of course, we're not here alone. We're joined by the guest. Many of you know him as also Nnadiume Awforkansi, constitutional lawyer, property consultant, and farmer. But we know him as the guest. The guest. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I can see Oji traditionally resplendent in his own traditional attire. We're jealous of this red cap. I wouldn't know when Oji joined the league. But nonetheless,
I was expecting you to echo this, but then again,
since he has adopted the red cap, let me anticipate that in no distant future he will join the league, because ordinarily, when you are not entitled to this red cap and you put it on during shows in the urban area, as you are going to a village, you always have a handbag by your side.
You put it right.
You remove it and put it inside the handbag.
So shots fired.
Shots fired.
Yes.
Oji, how would you react to that?
Well, as you stated, very soon, by the way, right?
He will soon join the game.
All right. Let's take a look at headlines making the news this morning. Quite exciting headlines, of course. Stories still following each other since Monday. We'll start with the Matrix. TCAD 9, Tinubu targets $1 billion investment opportunities. Nigeria's participation focusing on strategic engagements, not trade expos. This is according to the presidency. Attack on core member. 8 vigilante operatives dismissed. Face prosecution. NYSC vows to provide psychological, physiological support to victim. Benue armed herders kill 4 in fresh Agatu attack. Shipping companies, terminal operators benefiting from B. Odogu transition crisis. This is according to Shegun Musa. Sokoto boat tragedy, NEMA ends search as over 20 remain missing. Katsina mosque attack, anguish as death toll rises to 32. At last, NFBCB gets permanent headquarters after 28 years. Ojulari NNPC Limited's new business model hinged on value creation efficiency. Straight to Vanguard, anger over planned pay rise for political office holders. Reps summon 11 discos over 2.6 trillion naira debt owed federal government. Assault on NYSC member Soludo sacks vigilante operatives. Katsina massacre, death toll rises to 50. NCC to governors waive or reduce 145 naira ROW fees, right-of-way fees. Straight to Daily Sun. Outrage trails planned pay rise for Tinubu others. NLC, ADC, MBF, CUPP describe move as unconscionable. Ogun APC slams indefinite suspension of Daniel Folarin over anti-party activities. 2027 go for continuous voters registration. The Christian Association of Nigeria urges Christians. Furious Soludo bears fang, sacks vigilante for abuse of female youth corps member. How bandits killed 50 in my constituency. This is according to Malum Fashi lawmaker. And straight to the Daily Times, ADC rejects hike in salaries of political office holders, says Nigerians need pay rise. NAMA commences first audit of Nigerian airspace. Court orders freezing of Jay's bank accounts linked to former NNPCL GMD Kyari. And of course, straight to the punch now. 2027 showdown. Wike Makinde rift threatens high-stakes PDP convention. PDP vows top action as Wike associates move against convention. NEC members kick. Also here, Olubadan coronation for September 26th as Makinde visits Ladoja. NBA reports Adeleke demands federal government on block oceans allocation. Also here, recapitalization banks to gain extra 900 billion naira capital in 2025. Royal Row, Alafin may publish Supreme Court ruling after 48-hour ultimatum. And lastly here, PFAs channel 62% of workers' pensions into government bonds.
Starting from The Guardian, road tax scheme stalls after delivering 2.6 trillion naira projects. Opposition parties reject a proposed pay rise for political office holders' aides. 15% of teen girls are pregnant mothers. Minister laments 7,000 Nigerians stranded in Libya need calm, reveals. TICA D9 unmanned booth presidency downplays outrage as Tinubu demands UN reform. Oyo government sets Ladoja's coronation for September 26. Senegal ends the Tigers Afro basket dream. Manufacturers, our raw materials stock at airport for weeks, loses anticipated. Study shows 4.3 million premature deaths yearly from unclean cooking fuel. Moving over to Daily Trust, wedding guests killing, victims' families kick as suspects get bail. 7,000 Nigerians stranded in Libya, Diaspora Commission says. Motorists stranded as drivers block Abuja-Lokoja road. 15 farmers killed in fresh Plateau attack. 70,000 naira minimum wage can't lift Nigerians out of poverty, says U.S. report. FG approves 12,000 naira for kidney dialysis in 11 hospitals. African journalists condemn Palestinian counterparts' killings in Gaza. Lastly, gunmen kill 4 family members in Benin, Gwari. Moving over to leadership. FG housing estates rot away in Nasarawa 4 years after inauguration. CSO's orders list qualities for next INEC chair. Our people can no longer live in villages over relentless attacks, says Castana lawmaker. Tinubu demands UN reform as Japan pledges $5.5 billion for Africa. Pengassan flays use of oil workers for hazardous jobs. Government vows sanctions. Emerson absent as NCAA meets AFSEC cabin crew. Ogun APC suspends Senator Daniel over alleged anti-party activities. FG closes 13.3 million social media accounts, removes 58.9 million offensive contents. Abuja made true records 4 million passengers in first year. Lastly, on the leadership, Ladoja to be crowned for the 4th Olubadan, September 26. The Nation. Nigeria projects $1 billion in trade investment from Japan summit. Ladoja's coronation as 44th Olubadan fixed for September 26. Repair of Rivers Assembly Complex nears completion. No rift with Oni, says Alafin. Court convicts 8 more internet frauds. Suspects arrested at OBJ Library. Akande stalls Buhari's virtues. 11 discos owing Federation account 2.6 trillion naira. Rotimi Pedro is NTA DG. You can catch that on page 4. And 30 million social media accounts shut down. Why I donated 540-seat auditorium to Lasu by Tunji Bello. And death toll in Kasna Mosque attack now 32. Lastly, on the Nation, free dead cops on promotion list. Moving over to the last one right here. This day in Japan. Tinubu salutes Nigerian military's momentum against insecurity. REA Delta partner on off-grid power plan to raise state's GDP by $2.9 billion. Target 31,220 jobs, 471 unserved communities. Oborevuri, Delta won't be left behind in renewable development. NAMA begins comprehensive audit of Nigeria's airspace. Makinde approves Ladoja as the 44th Olubadan installation holds September 26th. And that's the last one right there.
All right. Thank you, Oji, for those headlines. Really interesting ones. I think it's clear where we'll start from. Vanguard. Pay rise for political office holders. This has drawn mixed reactions. So we're seeing Nigerian experts showing fangs. They're not accepting this at all. We're seeing information coming out that the president earns 1.5 million naira monthly and that ministers earn less than 1 million naira monthly. And we're seeing the the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Board, saying that this is no longer enough given the current economic realities and the fact that the jobs required are currently increasing. I would like to gain your reaction to this planned pay rise.
Well, you see, Nigerians are outraged. I'm not the only person who will say I'm outraged. You can see from all the newspaper headlines. You see, when we talk about Tinubu's government being a government of state capture, people think we're saying it maybe because we belong to the opposition parties. You see, members of the Nigerian police pensions scheme staged a protest not quite a long time ago that their pension is not even enough to give them a square meal in a week. Now, after staging the protest, you now turn back to increase the salaries of politicians, and not even the people who are protesting about their salaries. You see, the Nigerian political class, the very day they stop feeding on our common patrimony, that is the day we will get through independence. I don't think we are yet independent from this politician. And I keep on saying it, that the people in power are subjecting the people's power to a beggarly situation. And that makes it easy for them. Whenever they give us 100 naira or 500 to go and vote for them, another round of 4 years of suffering, we always accept. And you collect 1,000 naira, you go there, you can't even buy you a bottle of beer. And then you vote somebody and suffer for 4 years. Tell me, if the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission says that the current trend and then the job extension of the political office holders, that the money cannot take care of it. So are they now doing the work for us with their personal income? That's the question I ask. Because I know if they want to go to any visit anywhere, oversight, foreign tour, whatever, the nation, our tax money, is used to fund it.
Yeah, because one will ask how much money would then be enough money, even if you double that the salary of Mr.
Correct.
President. How much is going to be enough? Oji, go ahead.
And the thing is too, right? They're talking about cutting the cost of governance,
yes.
And this is being on the front burner. We saw the police, agitating and revolting the other time about what they are being paid.
Exactly.
Even when they've protected all these big wigs, and they,
exactly.
Yeah. So
and the people protesting are not the people being considered.
Yeah.
They are not considering those people whom they are protecting. You can see the irony of Nigerian situation. The person who is telling you, I am hungry, increase my salary. You are not interested in increasing, so you are not interested in increasing the one who will give him peanuts from the little ones, maybe after guarding you from the terrorists you brought. Because the political class brought the terrorists. After guarding you from the terrorists you brought, as they are going, maybe you drop 2,000 or 5,000 to them, give to your family. See, the earlier we rise up to this situation, the better. Why nobody's advocating violence? We advocate that we can, on our own, go to that National Assembly for 1 week and sit down there. Let them give us, 1, electoral reform. 2, let them make laws that will make these political office holders accountable for their actions. It is not enough that, okay, tell me, once you fall into their bad book, they'll send the FCC after you. Tell me who among the political office holders that you might, of course you should know, maybe you went to university or secondary school, Darrier, well, I think governor of Plateau State one time, He was sent to jail.
Did
Daria, whatever, we could find. And it was Buhari who went and brought him out. He didn't complete the sentence. Now, who is the other man in Kogi now? The young boy in Kogi. The one being hunted by EFCC. That one now, nobody's hearing anything about this case again. These are the same people who are asking for increase in salary. Now, until we start electing leaders with good background check, who are ready to give selfless service, Nigeria is going nowhere. And it's like a time bomb. As it is ticking, I just pray, let that time bomb not be a violent one. Because it's happened in the USSR, where we have the king's capital as present day, Russia today. It was one of the largest enclaves before. It was even larger than the United States of America. And they keep on getting Gorbachev, these were very horrible leaders. Until one day, the people rose against the government and said they want to go their separate ways.
Right.
And it was like a joke. They brought armor tanks to the streets. The soldiers were the armor tanks just sat there and were looking at the crowd. They didn't fire a single shot. So and behold, today we now have what we call the Barr republics. If you go to your own country and you survive. The only why they are even testing Ukraine is because Ukraine is the only country that is now challenging Russia, because they were all in the USSR. So that is the future I'm seeing for Nigeria, if these leaders continue the way they are going.
All right, let's shift away from there now to the matrix. Attack on core member, 8 vigilante operatives dismissed, face prosecution. Governor Soludo of Anambra State is not tolerating what we saw in the viral video of the NYSC core member being attacked, assaulted, stripped by the security operatives. Now we know that they are definitely operatives under the umbrella of Operation Dogachi. Agune Chemba, a local vigilante in Anambra. We saw them beating her, stripping her. At the end of the day, they said they were after cultists or fraudsters, scammers. And because she said that she would, according to her lawyer in an interview on another station, because she said that she was not going to follow them without informing her local government officer, they started to, and she said she wanted to change to better clothes. They decided to strip her and said to her that thing you're trying to hide, we're going to see it today. And according to her lawyer, they also threatened to rape, kill, and dump her somewhere. These are human beings doing this. Uniformed human beings doing this. Unfortunately, there was no way to hide what happened and to tie it to whom, because the vehicle of Operation Dogachi was sighted there. You can see there in the video. It was just there, basically stamping the print of those officials there for perpetrating that. So it wasn't men in uniforms, Operation Dogachi uniforms. This was confirmed to anyone who had eyes to see. What is your holistic appreciation of what this core member went through? We now know her name as Jennifer Elobo, who is serving in the state.
Well, you see, the Igbo man says that when you carry the corpse of another person, it looks like a log of wood. But when your own direct relation is carried, it becomes a human being. I just imagined my own daughter as a copper being handled that way in any part of Nigeria. You see, we keep on sweeping a lot of things under the carpet, except social media has come to light. And that's why I said any attempt to gag social media will be against a gag on the mouthpiece of the people, because that is the only mouthpiece of the people. I must have to express my disappointment on Soludo, not only because of his late intervention, because what he did was late.
Because it happened on July 25th.
Exactly. So this thing was late. We need not wait until the video goes viral. The very moment such a thing is reported, even to his nearest commander, and that is Udogachi, ordinarily should have stepped into action. And besides, you see, when you recruit most of these touts, you make out time. I say it here when Bubu was recruiting a forest guard. I say if you are recruiting some of these uneducated people who you pull from motor parks out of joblessness, make sure, forget about what people say about the Nigerian police. Make sure you make out time to allow the police, train them at least for 2 months, if not for 6 months. But to have recruited such people and to have given them such excess power, even carry arms. My good sister, what you are seeing, and what you saw in that copper's handling, is what has been happening in Anambra, many of them unreported. There was a man I saw on another viral video being handled by this Udogachi of people. The man was strapped completely naked. And you come and see the level of beating they were giving this young on a viral video.
So why would, I mean, I really want to know the charges, because why beat and strip someone? I mean, what kind of society?
So, you see, but if I were to prosecute that matter, first of all, I'll prefer a charge of attempted murder, because they have set out to kill the lady. There are no two ways about that. There are a level of handling you give to somebody.
Right.
It will no more be ordinary assault. It will no more be assault to occasionally have. Why you can make a charge of assault, I still believe that attempt to kill that lady has been established, because there's nothing wrong. What about if the lady is trying to save herself by maybe, let me use my leg and escape, and they fire at her?
Right.
Because they were armed. There were a lot of weapons they were using. If they weren't even beating her with ordinary hands. They were using both horses, whatever they like on an innocent girl. If the girl has committed an offense, the normal thing is invite her to your office. If you have an office, invite her there, post whatever threat she has committed to her, let her make her statement and defend herself. If she is found culpable, hand her over to the police.
It's quite provocative what we're seeing on TV. What more do you think the Anambra State government should do? Because you're seeing the officials intentionally yanking the dress off the lady, like they were set out to tear that dress.
Exactly.
This was not a case of what we saw, oh, they were struggling and then they deliberately tore the dress.
You see, one problem with our criminal jurisprudence is that we still operate the accusatorial system. Let the prosecutor prove his case. He is the one accusing this person. Let him prove his case. Ordinarily, in other crimes where they have moved away from the accusatorial system, ordinarily, this video evidence not need much. What is required is to get experts to establish that this video was not AI, induced, that this video was a real video of what actually happened. What are you then denying? And that is why when you go over there, even in the United Arab Emirates, as close to us as Dubai here, when you commit an offense, there's no point. They will just play your video evidence. You don't need to say you didn't do it, because the video will even speak for the prosecutor. You don't need to start saying, I am not guilty, when they say you are guilty. But here now, take it from me. If they give them a charge of assault to occasional harm, or serious assault, or wounded, or even attempted murder, the young man will still plead not guilty.
Right. So these operatives bundled her in her naked state, exposed, and put her in the vehicle. And then that was what we saw at the very end of the video. She was bundled that way and put in the vehicle. Now, the Anambra State government maintains that this is an isolated event, that this is not how the operatives behave. So, so we had that interview yesterday. What does this say about the broader conversation around state police? Because the state governments are calling for state police. We saw the constitutional review. Yeah. We saw how the different Southeast governments called for state police. But you're seeing Anambra leading with this story.
Yes, that's why I say, if you can recall, when we discussed state police here, I said, let the states recruit, but let the federal government still run both discipline and remuneration. Because he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Forget what the Nigerian police, with all the bastardization, with all the breakups, EFCC, ICPC, everything breaking out of the police, civil defense, still the Nigerian police still maintains the alter ego of other smaller civil security agencies. Now, if you give state police and state governors authority to run, recruit, hire, fire state police, you will see worse than what you saw in that video.
One would argue that this was not directed by the state government. One would argue that these operatives were rogue. They went out to do this, that they were not given direction to do this by the state government. So one would say, is there really a link between the clamor for state police and what we saw being displayed?
Natalia, no. See, in law, the vicarious liability, if you are the head of programs here, it is expected that every other person under you should take direct instructions from you. Now, somebody goes out of his way, conducts an interview, without screening, without vetting, post the interview, on social media, not even on Afia TV. And then you are now cornered as the head of programs. This came from Afia TV anchor man who is on the street. Now he said, no, we didn't send him. My sister, you go in for it vicariously. The state government set up this Udogachi. They are vicariously liable for whatever action Udogachi has taken, positive or negative. So you want to, when they get praised, maybe when they do a nice job, that's when you now say, okay, we send them. Now they have done a yeoman's job. Also accept it because it's assets and liability. So the state government cannot say we didn't send them. Why is he now disciplining them? Why is Soludo now sacking them? Why is he now telling them to be prosecuted? If you say, just like Nigerian police, the IG, the former one, even the current one, they are still saying, whenever you have a video record of any police, you can see a lot of police misbehaviors going viral, and most of those policemen being taken to the room trial and being stripped of their police uniforms. Right. So that is what's ordinary. So they can't say it is not, the second did not send them. I don't want to hear that. Soludo knows what he's doing. And my only regret in Anambra is that there is no formidable opposition party to challenge Soludo's second term. Otherwise, if there is, Soludo ordinarily should not go for a second term. He should not. Because, you see, my father often tells me that passing sense is not passing sense. Soludo is a professor. As far as I give him that academic prowess, that he's intelligent, he can make A1 in all his subjects. But leadership goes beyond academic intelligence. That is why even in our legal practice, you see, lawyers who do very well in practice are even people who made third class. And people who made past degrees, not people who made first class in law. Because when you make a first class, you're expected to go back to the ivory towers, teach the same subject you have made first class to students who are coming up. Not to come and practice. When you go to practice that thing you made first class, you find out that the world of practice is completely different from the world of academics. So Soludo has made a very bad governor of himself. If Anambra votes him for second term, so be it for them. If this one is like this, where he has not gotten a second term, tell me what will happen when he now has a second term and he is not likely going to contest anything again. You see, he doesn't guard his mouth. He opens his mouth and talks like a market woman, a professor. Now, he sets up things that are uncandidated. This Udogachi he set up. The aim was to bring sanity to the insecurity in Anambra State. But it has now escalated the insecurity. Because the people he has recruited are people that were recruited with a different agenda. Not even the agenda of what they are doing. Maybe he wants to get a second term by crook or by hook. Ordinarily, talk about, he opens his mouth and faces P2B. You still wonder whether this is the professor many of us thought he was. And that ordinary should have called for screening of what he did in the central bank when he was governor. Because if he were the governor of the central bank and people thought he did a lot of robust economic policies, read what other specialists in his area like Okonjo Iweala talked about him. So the man has a phobia. He may have come from a very poor parentage, and now God smiled on him because of intelligence, and one or two people gave him connections. He got to central bank because he started as a lecturer in college of education in Sube after leaving University of Nigeria. So, but let's just keep all those things aside. When you get to this kind of position, the best option in the circumstance, bring in other technocrats who know the administration better than you. Leave your professorship in your house. Because governance is different from profession. You can recall, Peter says that when he was governor of Anambra State, that if you come to his State Executive Council meeting as a commissioner, you didn't talk on the first day, that first Wednesday. Second Wednesday, you are always at the back seat, maybe sleeping or chatting. Third Wednesday, and you didn't contribute to anything, you will see there's something in your head, he will fire you. That has been Peter's idea. If you can come to my State Executive Council 3 good times, and you cannot make any contribution that will move the state forward, then you are empty.
That means there's nothing between you.
So why should I make me a commissioner? But this one knows everything. He knows even more than his commissioners. He doesn't even need commissioners. It's not like telling Wike. He's not telling Wike to appoint a spokesperson. Wike is his own spokesperson. So that is the kind of person we have here.
Wike got a spokesperson, by the way. But don't you think that Nicholas Ukachukwu, has the guts to challenge Governor Soludo come to November elections, or is that sentimental Abga attachment they have in Anambra State that's giving him the lead way?
Nicholas Okachukwu is in what political party?
APC.
Fine. See, if you want to challenge any government in southeastern Nigeria, in fact, the eastern region of Nigeria, from Enugu to Bayelsa, just avoid APC.
But understand the calculation now, the new strategy.
Get where I'm going. The Igbo man, like I said, we are mercantile in nature. We know bad markets when we see one. We don't even see Okachukwu as contesting as governor of Anambra State under APC. We are looking at beyond him to Tinubu. And the Igbo man sees Tinubu as a bad market. No matter the kind of credential you might possess, once you join that bad market political party, here, you are as good as gone.
But Governor Soludo aligns with the bad market.
That is why I'm saying that we could ordinarily, the only person I blame is Valentine Ozib, who refused to sit down in one place. If Valentine has sat down in a Labour Party consistently ever since then, and the P2P throws his weight behind it, there is no way this man can come back for a second term. But me.
Okay, let's get to the point. Your 2027 showdown. Wike Makinde Rift threatens high stakes PDP convention. PDP vows tough actions against Wike associates move against convention. NEC members kick. Will this house ever be in order? You know, and as we are getting notes that maybe President Goodluck Jonathan, ex-president, would probably be
drafted into the game.
PDP to run for 2027, come 2027 general elections here.
With Wike still professing membership of PDP, PDP is as good as gone. Just take it home from me. There is no place Wike goes that stays stable. No place.
But he's stabilizing Abuja with his infrastructure.
Wike is not stabilizing Abuja. You need to look beyond the facade of the commission of projects that are worth 10,000 and built with 100 million. So leave those ones, because Wike doesn't go into anywhere where there's no profit. He knows what he's making from Abuja. And Tinubu, being, a political merchant, knows why he's keeping Wike there. So two of them can always align. But like in every conspiracy, there must one day be a fallout. Because when two people connive to commit a crime, one day, there might be a problem in sharing of sharing formula. And one person will spill the beans. Like Erupai has spilled the beans in the election of 2023.
Yeah.
People are saying, what does this make? That will change it. That will change a lot. By saying the truth now, that Tinubu didn't win the election, but that he came third, shows that conspiracy has actually soured. Thank God that his own, P2B's own, still came in his lifetime. It was not like Abiola's own.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 years after P2B must have died and forgotten. They will not say, no, he won the 2023 election. So good a thing they said it when he's alive. Whether it made any sense or whether it doesn't make any sense, the truth of the matter is that the truth has eventually come out. And we know, every Nigerian knows, that Tinubu won no election. We know. There's no two ways about that. But no problem, INEC is the third unregistered political party that dictates every election. INEC can give it to whoever they like, but they won't succeed in 2027.
Also, Awforkansi, thank you so much for sharing your views on the program today, your opinions. Now, we understand you play a key role at the forthcoming NBA conference.
Yeah.
Now, today, the Hotel Presidential is going to be open for business. It's being commissioned at exactly 10 a.m. when the morning show has come to an end.
You can actually attribute it that they inspired it too for the
nature. Yes. So I want you to react briefly to the commissioning that is slated to hold today and how you think the opening of this hotel will boost the hospitable treatment of these lawyers.
I said here, I think that was last week, I said the government is partnering with the Nigerian Barr Association close to 80%. And I very much appreciate that, not only because I'm a lawyer, but because I see it as a movement in the right direction. The governor of Enugu State is a lawyer, his deputy is a lawyer. So two of them are lawyers. If they don't give us the best, who then will give us? So we expect the best from them, and they are doing that their best. Even though some of the actions are now caught at nail, which I don't like as far as governance is concerned. The beautification of the circuits, that's what we call roundabout. It's almost a day in, day out, and they can't finish. They already arrived and started. Games are being played, football matches are already being played. Visitors are already in Enugu. And then again, the hotel presidential, that one is the one they started earlier. And I keep on saying it here, that I pass across hotel presidential virtually every day. And I know it will be ready before the conference of, because final arrival is Sunday, opening ceremony is Monday. And if you go to the Barr Square, you will find out the tents. Because I told the people that day that the main hall in the International Conference Center, we contain about 3,400 guests. While the second hall, we contain less than, about 1,000 plus. But the tents, there are about 4 already being set in that open space in Barr Square.
Right.
That tent will contain at least in the amount of about 10,400.
Have rooms been booked at the Hotel Presidential?
Yes, the Hotel Presidential definitely, I do like I said the other day, that it's like the government is reserving it for MBA executives. At least it's now a brand new hotel. So let the lawyers test the hotel as brand new. So while other hotels are now being booked and booked to the brim, the Hotel Presidential is also very close proximity. You can get up in the morning and just walk into the conference hall. Besides, all our executives, there are other logistics you carry out while you are in your room, because both assessment of conference materials, checking of books and bagging them, most of these cannot be done at the conference. They are done in very many hotels where this executive lodge. And I do believe the Hotel Presidential is a very right venue for it. So we appreciate the government for their involvement. They are also trying to give out their CNG buses, even though at a fee. They are not giving it free. But nonetheless, the MBA can afford the fee. Those people who are actually setting up the Mami Market, the Friendship Center, they also, the structures are being set up. So Enugu, like I said, from Saturday, in fact, it's already agog. If you have gone to, I was expecting the Afia Radio sports desk to be at Ngo Park, to witness the preliminaries that were going. I think Owerri branch. Yes, Owerri branch played with, I think it's Kafanchan or so. And Abuja yesterday had their own, rematch. So gradually, we're moving. But Enugu lost to, what was the other team there? Enugu lost, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. I just pray we don't lose completely out of the tournament. Because the way it is going, these other people seem to be more prepared than others, because we are busy preparing to host them.
Yeah.
Yes, we couldn't practice enough.
That's an excuse, by the way.
No, it's an excuse. we couldn't prepare enough. So, but nonetheless, we appreciate what the government is doing.
All right.
It's in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Nnadiume Awforkansi, for joining the morning show today. We're out of time, but we'll continue to have this dialogue as the conference approaches. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, gentleman and lady.
Thank you. The morning show returns in just seconds, and then we'll take a regional story and head on straight to more energizing content. Stay tuned.